Hello and welcome to the Ellen Made Book Club. Today I want to talk about my most anticipated releases in 2025. There's literary fiction, historical fiction, quite a few thrillers, a little bit of fantasy and mythological retellings, and yeah, just lots of stories that sound really good to me. So let's start with The Stolen Queen by Fiona Davis. This is a historical fantasy mystery, which I think sounds like a fantastic combination. It's set in Egypt and in New York City, and there's two timelines. The unlikely duo Annie and Charlotte meet at the Met Gala and have to work together to search for a missing antiquity where Charlotte swore she would never return in Egypt. And then there's a legendary curse reawakening. I get The Devil Wears Prada mixed with the Da Vinci Code, but like set in Egypt. And then there's a legendary curse. Yeah, I just think that sounds like a very fun time and a good combination of things. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Next up, we have Mother of Rome by Lauren Baer. This is a retelling of the Romulus and Remus myth and the foundation of Rome, but about their mother. All roads may lead to Rome, but they began with Rhea Silvia. A powerful and fierce reimagining of the earliest Roman legend, the twins Romulus and Remus, mythical founders of history's greatest empire, and the woman whose sacrifice made it all possible. So Rhea is beautiful, rich, and royal. Her father is the king, and they seem to have it all until her father loses the kingdom in a treacherous coup, and Rhea is sent off to ensure that she can never produce an heir. But Rhea does become pregnant, and when human society abandons her for that and threatens her with the gravest punishment, she makes a dangerous deal with the divine. So it says, to save her sons and reclaim their birthright, Rhea must summon nature's mightiest force, a mother's love, and fight. I'm vaguely familiar with the legend of Romulus and Remus, but yeah, I don't know a lot about it, and I think it sounds very interesting to hear the story of their mother. The next one sounds like fun to me. It's called Cross My Heart by Megan Collins. This is a psychological mystery thriller set in the United States of America. It's a twisty novel about Rosie, a heart transplant patient who becomes romantically obsessed with her donor's husband. So it seems like Rosie is a romantic to start with. She wants nothing more than to find the one. She is working in her parents' bridal shop and just longing for that happily ever after. She was going to get married, but was then dumped in her wedding dress. Since then, she's had a heart transplant, and she's convinced that it belonged to the wife of a guy that she has been messaging with online. She is convinced that they now belong together. And as their relationship progresses, she starts to wonder if he had something to do with his late wife's death, and if so, does that mean that she's next? This book might not be as fun as it seems in my head. It might be super creepy. I just think that like the colors on the cover, the pink and the blue, and like this obsession and the fact that she has his late wife's heart in her, or she's convinced of that and she's obsessed with him. And yeah, I just think it sounds very intriguing and a cool premise for a story. Next up, we have a retelling of Greek mythology. This is Daughter of Chaos by A.S. Webb. In ancient Greece, mortals suffer under the tyranny of the gods, but a prophecy speaks of one who will set them free. Danae, I'm not sure how to say this name. Danae, a fisherman's daughter, develops strange powers and joins forces with the legendary Heracles to battle monsters and gods. But a terrifying truth is yet to be unlocked, a truth that could destroy the world as she knows it. This is described as a sweeping, epic debut fantasy novel, and I just think it sounds like a good adventure. I think it sounds interesting with the mortals trying to set themselves free from the tyranny of the gods, battling the gods and monsters and all of those things that I like in Greek mythology. And yeah, it just sounds like a good time. Maybe on the like more serious end of retellings, I'm not really sure. But the cover is very adventurous looking. There's a stormy sea with a ship, and there are like dragon people, I don't know, people with wings flying around, and yeah, it sounds really good, and the cover looks good, and so I'm intrigued. The title is really good as well, Daughter of Chaos. Yeah. Next up is Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao. This is a dreamlike and enchanting mystery with magical realism, which sounds fantastic to me. The cover is gorgeous. I just love this design so much, with the like reflection of a city in the water, and then these are like small paper boats, and there are building in the clouds and a big moon, and yeah, it just looks so pretty and so intriguing. It looks very like fantastical to me. Hana inherits a pawn shop in Tokyo where some people can sell their regrets. Not everyone will find this pawn shop, but the ones who are lost will be able to find it and sell their regrets. On her first day, a precious item is stolen and her father is missing. In stumbles a charming stranger, and together they embark on a magical journey to retrieve what is lost. And Hana also has a secret of some kind. So this is a cozy mystery with a touch of romance, and the reviews so far are really good. They say that the world building is fantastic, and it's like jumping between worlds by stepping into a pond, or like putting your head on a pillow and you're waking up somewhere else. And yeah, I just think it sounds very magical. Next we have The Business Trip by Jessie Garcia. This is a contemporary crime debut. It's a psychological mystery thriller, and I just think it sounds like a fun and twisty time. This is about two women who are on the same airplane. Stephanie is on a business trip and Jasmine is fleeing an abusive relationship. And then after a few days, they text their friends the same strange messages about the same man, and then the two women vanish. So the friends have to try and find out what this man did to these women, or what they did to him. I think it sounds like an intriguing premise, and yeah, just a fun, twisty time. Next up, we have a murder mystery thriller set in Scotland. This is The Inheritance by Trisha Saklisha, and the tagline is "Most family reunions end in tears. This one will end in murder." The Agarwals have gathered on a private island where the family patriarch is about to announce the succession plan. They've all got secrets they would die to protect. Who will survive and who will become a victim of their own greed? It says, masterful, gripping, and unpredictable. This murder mystery will have you on the edge of your seat. So lots of family intrigue between rich people on a secluded island in Scotland. It seems moody and creepy, and yeah, just very dramatic and luxurious, and yeah, I'm intrigued. Next we have another mystery thriller that is also said to be an exploration of love and forgiveness. This is Penitance by Kristen Koval, a suspenseful, addictive page-turner filled with literary insight that compels readers to consider whether each of us is more than the worst thing we've ever done. So a shocking murder takes place in the home of Angie and David, and they turn to their small town lawyer for help, and she is also the mother of Angie's first love, Julian, who is now a successful defense attorney in New York. So as Julian and Angie confront their shared past and long buried guilt from a tragic accident years ago, they must navigate their own culpability and the unresolved feelings between them. So yeah, there's like loyalty and family and forgiveness and sort of reconciling with events that have taken place and things that you've done or that others have done. And I'm not sure who was murdered in this story, and I don't know. The cover is very quiet, I think, with these like trees in winter. It's not really giving suspenseful, addictive page turner vibes. So I'm interested to find out what that like combination is. Then there's also this like relationship from the past and a tragic accident that happened and their own culpability, and yeah, I'm just I'm intrigued. The last book on my list that comes out in January is Mask of the Deer Woman by Lori L. Dove. This is a mystery thriller set on a Native American reservation, and the author does have Indigenous heritage. At rock bottom, following her daughter's murder, ex-Chicago detective Carrie Starr goes back to her roots. So this detective, Carrie Starr, is heartbroken and devastated after her daughter has been murdered, and she has nowhere else to go but back to the reservation where her father was brought up. As new tribal marshal on the reservation, she falls into this investigation of girls who have been killed or just gone missing, and that brings up a lot of memories, of course, of her daughter. And then she's also like seeing this fearsome spirit with the body of a woman but with like these big antlers, and she recognizes this spirit from stories that her father has told her, and she just feels that this spirit is watching her, but she's not sure if she is trying to guide her or seeking vengeance for all of these girls that she can't save. I think the premise sounds really interesting even without like the Native American aspect. I think a detective coming back to solve a case and that reminds her of her own daughter, like that alone is interesting to me. And I think that the addition of this spirit and her sort of finding herself and like feeling lost in this reservation and not really finding herself, I guess. I just think it sounds very intriguing and like a very good story. I think I will leave it there for this video before it gets too long. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.